Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy.
Meet the Freshmen. Freshmen, meet the Freshmen. They're the newest Tigers on the team.
The old Meet the Freshman jingle that Cade Wassan came up with the Flintstones theme. We'll do 2 a day for you here until August the 15th. We're going to get you through there every single day. We will go through 2 freshmen on LSU's football team, and I'll just kind of give you their story and kind of my expectation for them as we move forward. We'll start with Rickie Collins today as our first. Of course, you're aware of Rickie Collins at this point. He's been on campus since January. 6'2", 182-pound quarterback from Woodlawn right here in Baton Rouge. In October of his junior year of high school, he committed to Purdue. Did not have an LSU offer and jumped on his first big one there. And I went back and read some recruiting stories on Rickie Collins, and he was really committed to Purdue and wanted to go up there and play. But then he becomes a district MVP as a junior. He becomes a 4-star quarterback. All the while, he's a 3-sport guy: football, basketball, baseball. Shows his athleticism. And he's catching some people's eyes. He's catching some people's eyes in terms of talent evaluation on the recruiting websites and certainly other college coaches. And LSU finally decides, yeah, this is a guy that we want in our class. And when that happened, it was real quick. Within the week, Rickie Collins had decommitted from Purdue and committed to LSU. When it ended, he was a 4-star by every service that does recruiting rankings. He was the number 14 quarterback in the country by On3, and he decided to enroll early. And one of the things that I saw about Rickie Collins early in his time at LSU was at the spring game when they didn't put him in a no-contact jersey. If you see the picture that Beck's got up on the board here, that's of the spring game, and he's just in the normal white jersey. And Brian Kelly got asked about why he put Rickie Collins in a white jersey in the spring game where he could get hit. If you were listening to the show in the first hour, I was watching the LSU spring game on one of our TVs, and Rickie Collins got sacked. And Brian Kelly's quote was, "Young quarterbacks, we don't want to slow them down early. We want them to keep playing. We want them to play longer. It allows them to process the game a little bit better." I guess that quote just means we want them to see the play a little bit longer. They can run around and we don't have to blow the whistle. Maybe they make somebody miss. Maybe they're developing a little bit. And Rickie Collins needs that. And the good news is he's got plenty of time, because Rickie Collins is a long way, in my opinion, from being LSU's starting quarterback. That has some to do with his development as a player, but far, far more to do with the fact that Jaden Daniels comes back as one of the top 5 in the betting odds to win the Heisman and the first-team All-League quarterback in NSC Media Days. And Garrett Nussmeier still has a couple years left to play. And those two guys are just significantly beyond him in terms of development. Jaden Daniels has started for 4 years in college. Garrett Nussmeier has played some high-leverage spots in his college career, and Collins has just played in high school and had 1 spring football practice. So if you're looking at Rickie Collins, you're looking at a kid who's just coming in to learn and get reps. He's going to run the scout team. He's going to soak things up in the quarterback room from Jaden Daniels, from Garrett Nussmeier, from Joe Sloan. He's going to learn from Mike Denbrock. And he's just got a lot of time to develop. This runway is so long for Rickie Collins. And at that position, it's like, can you even invest a lot in that as a fan? As a player and as coaches, of course you can. But at that position, it's like, man, guys are moving all the time. If you're not quick to the field, do you stick around? And so I'm not sitting here telling you how quickly Rickie Collins is looking to transfer. I think it's a long way from that. I do think he's a long way from being LSU's starting quarterback. He does have good athleticism. He does have plenty of arm. I saw him in the spring working out. I've seen plenty of scholarship quarterbacks on LSU's campus that I could look at and go, man, is that arm going to play in the SEC? Collins isn't like that. He's got the tools. He's just got a couple guys right there in front of him, and one more potentially nipping on his heels here. LSU's got a big 4-star quarterback commitment coming in the next class. So Rickie Collins, talented player, from the city of Baton Rouge, got his opportunity to commit and sign with LSU, enrolled early, and he'll be a guy who kind of gets lost in the shuffle this year because it's just not something we're going to talk a ton about your third-string quarterback behind two really, really good players. But a guy with a lot of tools that LSU will continue to work with. The second Meet the Freshman today on day one of Meet the Freshman is Ashton Stamps. Ashton, 6 feet, 175 pounds, and he committed to LSU 4th of July last year. This was your classic camp offer. This is a guy who was not really on a lot of radars. This is a guy who had offers from Nichols and some lower level college football programs. But he went to camp. And the staff looked and went, we can work with that. And this is what you hope blossoms into Justin Jefferson. That's unlikely. Justin Jefferson may be the best wide receiver in the NFL. But can it blossom into Deion Jones or Duke Riley? Can it blossom into Lloyd Cushenberry? If you remember, we had Russell Gage comes to mind here as well. We had a study that one of the recruiting websites did that I couldn't find today. But it was basically, how well does your program develop 5 stars into NFL players? How well does your program develop 4 stars into pros? How well does your program develop 3 stars into pros and draft picks? And LSU, while they do sign a lot of 5 stars relative to the rest of the country, their percentage on developing those into real draft picks is a little bit lower than you would think. Their 4-star rate is really good, and their 3-star rate was second in the country. And Ashton Stamps is a consensus 3-star. Went to Rummel, played some corner at Rummel, played some safety at Rummel, and he's one of the most lowly ranked players that LSU signed last year. But again, they've got a lot of guys in front of him in the defensive back room, and they think this is a kid who grew up in Louisiana, will take pride in playing for the state, has some real athletic ability, and a pretty good frame at 6 foot 175, that they decided, we'll take a chance on that kid. Not a cornerstone of your class, not a guy that's going to catch the headlines, and maybe a guy that doesn't help but ends up transferring out and goes somewhere else. That happens with plenty of 3-stars at LSU. And you don't build your roster around 3-star guys whose latest offer was from Nichols. But you can take a couple, because the guys in this state just seem to quite often blossom into really, really good players. And so I don't expect Ashton Stamps to play much this year. He may redshirt. He may play some special teams. He may not play at all. But you're hoping that you've got the next guy from South Louisiana who was under everybody's radar and said, hey, let me come to camp. Let me show you what I can do. Put me up against that guy. Put me up against that guy. He's a 4-star. Let me see. And after a couple days at camp, the staff looks around and goes, all right, that looks pretty good to me. And that is what the staff hopes Ashton Stamps becomes in this class. So Rickie Collins and Ashton Stamps today, your Meet the Freshman. Tomorrow we'll do Dylan Carpenter and Michael Doherty, Jackson McGowan and Paul Mabenga coming up, Jeremiah Hughes and Christian Brathwaite. We'll work our way towards some of the higher-ranked players in this class. We'll get to one day's got Shelton Sampson and Javian Toviano. Think you know something about those guys. We'll start with some of the younger guys. Tomorrow we'll do Dylan Carpenter and Michael Doherty as part of our Meet the Freshman segment that we'll do every day between now and the 15th of August. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.